we all have a generational mandate. We don't normally have those conversations as black people and as Africans. We don't normally sit down to discuss issues of vision, to draw up a vision board, to set goals. We just live anyhow. Our responsibilities are limited to having children, sending them to school.
Cool.
If they do well, we then say, praise God. Other races will tell you, you go to a farm and there's a white man there. He will tell you that I'm the 4th or 5th generation farmer here. But you don't actually get that in a lot of Africans. It's really to come out in the open and say, let's have an open conversation. Let's take stock of where we want to go. Every year when everybody else is celebrating the start of a new year, you need to sit down and take stock and say, where do we want to go? What goals can we set as a family? How do we intend to achieve them? What role will each and every one of us play? Once you have your own family vision, it can also determine, the kind of products you need in terms of children, how you groom them, how many they are, and what careers are they supposed to take, because they are supposed to plug onto that vision. It's all to do with discovering who you are as a family. You've got a family vision, and that pretty much shapes even the conversations that you have as a family.
True.
Who do we allow in our lives as friends? Who qualifies to become a family friend? Because those are supposed to also speak to the vision that we have. Our struggle must be to bring new innovation to whatever gifts and talents that are embedded in us. Look at what is very much evident in your family as talents and gifts, and develop that. Strong families, they build strong societies, and strong societies will in turn, build, strong nations. There has to be a way of coming together and say, how do we merge these energies for the sake of what we are building in our children and also in the coming generations.
Right. So depending on madzikisira unenge wakaita ka T-peg aka, you can size kuti kanoda kudzika here, T-peg inoda kudzika here kana kuti, so the so the goal is kuti face a club pakati pe face pe club barowe bora, so that for the first time, not bad.
Randall?
Raenda riri paground.
Anatomboona
Raenda riri paground. So another one.
Generational wealth, aka old money, is an interesting topic that is not often on the table for discussion, especially in black communities. Let's face it, generational wealth is a complex topic, and families that have managed to create it also struggle. Research shows that 70% of wealthy families lose their fortune by the second generation, and a staggering 90% by the third generation. In this episode, I golfcast and chill with William Chingombe, who is an advocate for generational wealth, and we discuss why it is important for us as a people to start engraving this concept in our everyday lives to create and sustain wealth that moves from one generation to the next. I hope you enjoy this one.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. It's not easy. Better.
Hi.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again. We are back. Today I have a very special guest. To me, is a man who I have known to teach about generational wealth. It's a very important topic. It's an interesting topic that we all need to, play around with and have conversations around. So today I have Elder Chingombe from Ford.
The country boy.
Well, I know him from church, but his brand is the country boy. He's doing exceptional work in Goromonzi. He has a very beautiful place that is made a sanctuary. You've turned it into a sanctuary. Can you tell us a bit about?
Oh yeah, so basically it's a rural home.
Yeah.
That's eco-friendly. but also haven for my family. That's where we retreat and enjoy and get to experience the priceless rural life, right, in the countryside of Goromonzi.
That's beautiful. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. So what are you doing? I know there are certain projects that you're undertaking there.
Yes, the beauty about being in the countryside is that you get to undertake projects of various nature, you know, albeit at a subsistence level. But you see these ones have got the potential to then grow and become real enterprise ventures. So I am doing the whole integrated farming, you know, right from your poultry, rabbit farming, fish farming, a bit of horticulture, piggery, and all these projects are somehow linked, or there's that integration, because we're trying to also make sure that we do farming in a sustainable way.
Okay. You are one of the people that I know who has become a herald of generational wealth, generational transfer, which is a very important subject. You look at the white people, they've mastered it. You look at the Indians, you look at the Jews, they've mastered this. And at some point, we had this even in our culture.
Yes.
But somewhere along the line, I don't know what happened. So tell us a bit about why it is important for us to go back to this culture of generational wealth as a people.
It's very important because we all have a generational mandate.
Yeah.
So whether we know it or we don't, the fact still remains. And whether you don't, you know, participate in it, or you deliberately take steps towards making sure that you leave a generational legacy that's positive. Look, it will still happen, good or bad. So it's very important, because even in our own culture, you know, growing up, you would know that there are things that we used to do which pretty much hinged on sustaining the generational legacy. Once we realize that we have got a specific generational mandate, we live our lives responsibly.
True.
There's accountability in everything that we do. I mean, you have heard in the Bible, David, you know, being said, after he served his generation, he then rested among his forefathers, which means he understood his generational legacy.
Okay.
In some instances, he played it well, and then in some instances, he was not so good, and both, you know, circumstances had to revisit even some of his children. There are good things they inherited, but there are also bad things that they inherited, which, you know, eventually impacted on their lives. So yeah, generational legacy is something that we can't play with, because we all ride on the shoulders of those who have come
Before us.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. You know, I was reading somewhere, because I took interest in knowing more about generational wealth at some point. And I read about how in the Jewish culture, they say that if a father doesn't teach his son how to make a living, it's as if he has taught him to be a thief in the Jewish culture. With that being said, I want to ask, whose responsibility is it, especially in our culture, to preserve, or to create and preserve this generational culture, this generational wealth concept? Because in the Jews, it's the father. So maybe people might
in
be
our
asking,
culture,
yes,
it's still the father. You know, the responsibilities of a father are, you know, quite clear. Even at home, is the vision of the father that carries the day. He's the one who charts the direction the family must be taking, and he holds that responsibility. And as you bring up, you know, funny to say, once you have your own family vision, it can also determine, you know, the kind of products you need in terms of children,
All right.
how you groom them, how many they are,
Yeah.
and what careers are they supposed to take, because they are supposed to plug onto that vision.
Your vision is the father.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, you get into a family, an Indian family of doctors. You can have a kid, a child, 3 years. You just sneeze in there, they can literally diagnose you and tell you what you're supposed to take and prescribe.
It's a little
but they've not gone to
medical
school.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's something that is running within the family, and to then go and then study medicine, it's pretty much to reinforce what's already embedded in them.
It's in their DNA
It's
now.
in their DNA.
Okay.
But even when we were growing up, you would hear that there are certain families who are very good at that.
Alright.
Vanorima,
Avaim-
vahurudza,
Vavhimi.
vanovhima, uko kune footballers,
Yeah.
and those guys were sharp lawyers, and things like that. It's all to do with discovering who you are as a family. You've got a family vision,
Yeah.
and that pretty much shapes even the conversations that you have as a family.
True.
You sit down when you are discussing, what are you talking about? All right, who do we allow in our lives as friends?
Oh, even the friends.
The friends,
Eish.
who qualifies to become a family friend, because those are supposed to also speak to the vision that we have. And they're supposed to bring impetus into that vision and make sure that we are not diverted. And Madara Edu, they were very good at that. Not everyone was a Sawira.
Yeah.
There is somebody who would then become a Sawira, and they played that role very well. But they also, apart from knowing the intricacies of some of the secrets of the family, these people, they also understood the direction that the family was taking, and they would support the family, to make sure that they achieve the vision. So yes, a family vision guides, disciplines the family.
Wow.
Yes, it does that. Who do I play with? Who do I talk to? Who do I befriend? And
Who do
things
you
like
marry?
that. Who do you marry? Yes. And the issues of arranged marriages. It's now in this era of people being, independent and very liberal. But long back, you would know kuti dzakakora dzinonanzvana. That's what they would. That's what they would say. Kana kuti roorana ive matongo.
Yes.
The whole idea is that we are setting you up so that you've got very little time spent on putting a lot of energy trying to fix a background that you were not aware of, simply because you married a foreigner. But when you marry within the confines of your lifestyle and also your locality, you already know the family, you already know their background, you already know their weaknesses, you already know their strength. So you start by moving forward without necessarily trying to rectify the ills that you are picking as surprises from a spouse that you picked from another country or from elsewhere. So it's all to do with pushing a generational legacy, without saying you are limiting yourself to, say, the economy that you were brought up in. No. We are saying at least understand those dynamics, and those dynamics will then shape what you then become when you are now in marriage.
Okay.
Great.
Take a swing.
Another one.
Another one. Yeah, you are getting used now?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not easy.
You'll never get this right.
But
anyway.
it's through practice. Through practice.
Through practice.
Yeah,
and,
continue. As you continue to play. I started from there
Yeah.
as well. Good. That was nice.
What a swing.
That was nice.
Huh?
That was
Like
nice.
a pro.
All right.
Yeah.
I want to ask this question, because certain times I've seen all the challenge with men is we don't know how best we can communicate our vision to the family. And how can we get into a space where we start? Because usually, if the family is communicating, kutukana, hey, sales no, sales no, hey, this, that, hey,
Trying to fix things.
Yes,
Yes.
but it's not. We don't have this conversation where we are saying, "Good guys, this is where we are going. This is what we want to do, and we'll do it this way, this way, this way."
Yeah, especially in the African context.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest challenges we are facing right now is how to manage the dynamics of, feminism in our family setup.
Yeah.
I say feminism because a family unit is a family unit, and the principles and the principles that govern the family unit are clearly outlined. The roles and responsibilities of a father, a mother, and children are clearly outlined.
True.
But we are living in a time where issues of empowerment that happens across the board, and sometimes we have our mothers who then get empowered, and they kind of mix their roles in the corporate world
And at home.
So that's where the conflict then starts. And also the shared responsibilities that then happen at home will also inadvertently impact on the authority, say of the father, or the responsibilities. I don't want to call them rights, because at home we have responsibilities.
Yes.
We don't have rights, yeah. So those responsibilities would then become a bit skewed. But it's really to come out in the open and say, let's have an open conversation. Let's take stock of where we want to go. Every year when everybody else is celebrating the start of a new year, you need to sit down and take stock and say, where do we want to go? What goals can we set as a family? How do we intend to achieve them? What role will each and every one of us play? Without necessarily trampling on anyone's, liberties and aspirations within the family. But also we guide each other to say, you might want to be taking this route, but the bigger vision or the bigger picture is that we want to get here. So what the road that you want to take might not necessarily get us to here. What is it that we can do, or that you can do, so that you feed into this common agenda that we have as a family? We don't normally have those conversations as black people.
True.
And as Africans. We don't normally sit down to discuss issues of vision, to draw up a vision board, to set goals. We just live anyhow. Our responsibilities are limited to having children, sending them to school.
Cool.
If they do well, we then say, praise God, let's take them to university. What is it that you want to do? And then the child says, I want to be an engineer. Oh, go and become an engineer. The second one, I want to be a doctor. Oh, be a doctor. The other one, I want to be a lawyer. So we then become fragmented. And when that happens, I as the father, say, or the mother, we've been working in our different spaces, building critical relations, creating a valuable database. And when you as a child decided to take a certain route, sometimes you won't be able to benefit from the database
that you have, the contacts that you have.
The contacts that I've built over the years. So all of that will just go to waste. Yet they are supposed to then perpetuate the legacy that we are building. I'm a media entrepreneur, and I'm also a farmer. My expectation is that when my son gets on the scene, must also benefit from the contacts that I've made over the years, the impact I've made in the industry. There must be favors that should come naturally because of the contacts and the work that I did. But if he decides to choose another path, what it means is that he's starting afresh, right? And if he has his own children and they don't take after him, they will start afresh. And what I've also noted over the years is that at some point when we are getting old, or we are getting to a certain age, we start to gravitate towards things that, were embedded in us as family talents and gifts.
Yes.
So if you were a family of mechanics and your father was a mechanic, eventually being a doctor, you start to gravitate towards that.
The mechanics.
Yes, you are a doctor, but somehow you are now finding pleasure in fixing cars and things like that. So the sooner we realize that, the better. So that our struggle must be to bring new innovation to whatever gifts and talents that are embedded in us. If I was growing, let's say, vegetables, you must come with innovation that value adds on that talent.
All right.
Same line of business, but we can value add. If I was doing cattle, now you are doing biltong, you are doing beef, you are
Value
doing
addition.
products
Yes.
and value addition.
Yeah.
You are now doing leather products, and you're now, you expand on that. And then the next group of, or the next set of, or the next generation will come, bring in new innovation, grow this business,
value chain.
grow this venture. And, I, as the ancestor now, I'll be very proud to say, I started this at a subsistence level, and you have taken it to
the
this
next level.
commercial level. If my impact was just national, you would then go global. So this is what we are trying to encourage, African families to do. Don't be too fragmented. Look at what is very much evident in your family as talents and gifts, and develop that. It will then take you to, the next level.
Next level.
Yeah.
All right. Because of our time, I don't want to hold you. You're a very busy man. I want to ask maybe two questions. But this one, the first one, I have to just give a brief background. You and go back to what you said. You spoke of feminism. You spoke of feminism and its impact, what it has managed to disrupt in the day-to-day lives that we're used to. I don't know if you saw the headline on Saturday or Sunday, where the Daily News was saying that Zim men are sort of avoiding marriage.
Yes, I saw it.
What-
Because of the burden and the responsibility that comes with marriage. Yes, I saw that headline.
And also it not only said the economic challenges,
Yes,
but it
yes.
also said the societal shift,
Yes.
which I think is also directed. It's connected to feminism.
Feminism, yeah.
So what are your thoughts? Because also when you look at that headline, it also has a disruption on this topic of gender. Because if there are no marriages, there are no families, and there's no generational. So what are your thoughts?
In fact, the strength of any nation is embedded in the strength of its families. The fiber of families, or the makeup of families, pretty much determine the strength of a nation. So strong families, they build strong societies, and strong societies will in turn, build, strong nations. So you will realize that the races that have got strong family values don't normally get into certain conflicts. You hardly see the Indian community, for instance, being in a divorce court. It doesn't mean that they don't have conflict.
Yeah.
It means that they've got conflict, but they have a way of resolving those conflicts, which does not spill over into certain platforms. So the issue of feminism affects mainly those who don't understand their roles and responsibilities in the home. And also we have the challenge of us Africans You know, for a very long time, we have always been a patriarchal society where the man is the head, pretty much a chieftainship kind of leadership. And when women think they are now liberated, they then tend to resist that. But in our setup, certain elements of that is what actually binds the family together. You know, there has to be an authority. And also when a woman is empowered, they also tend to then have their own vision, which they might want to run parallel to the vision of the man. And when that happens, then there is conflict. There has to be a way of coming together and say, how do we merge these energies for the sake of what we are building in our children and also in the coming generations.
Yeah.
And we also have a challenge of men who are also left behind when a woman is being empowered. So it's this empowered woman and this man who pretty much does not have the correct empowerment when it comes to how to handle an empowered woman. And that also poses a challenge. And they then feel threatened by the woman, and they then want to exercise their masculinity, sometimes in the wrong way. So there are a lot of dynamics, but I think the issue of feminism borders much on rights, and the message should be more on responsibilities than rights.
I liked how you
Yes.
reframed it.
So it's very important that we come back and say, we have got responsibilities. What are our responsibilities? And out of all those responsibilities, which ones have got a generational mandate? Which ones are responsibility have to do with what we must do as husband and wife, as father and mother to our kids, as grandpa and grandma to our grandchildren? That which we pass on whilst we are looking more on our grandchildren than on our children. So all that must then be discussed openly to say this is where we are going. And this idea of just waking up and then umwe ari kuita zvake is working, umwe ari kushandawo, and at the end of the day, as long as we are able to send kids to school, that's it. We must be able to look beyond that. Otherwise, we will continue to create a cycle where kids will start where we
are always
we are starting. We are
Always
always starting.
Always restarting. Instead of building on a foundation
Oh, yes,
that's
we
already...
are always starting, and that's a big problem. Yeah.
All right. So the last thing that I want to ask, I had a conversation this morning with a certain lady. She's doing real estate. So she has a company that's vibrant, that's growing. So she has a daughter who's doing university in Canada, and she's studying to become a doctor. And so I asked her, so if she becomes a doctor and you are working hard to build this empire, who then is going to inherit this empire? And her answer was, I work for myself. I'm not working for them. They should work for their own lives. What do you have to say? Because a lot of African families have this dynamic of saying, I work for myself. What I've worked is for me. And my child is supposed to work for their own thing. But when you die, these things are going to
then be inherited, and they are going to become white elephants and all this stuff. It's always a challenge when people don't see beyond themselves. And then they amass whatever they amass, thinking that it gives them protection as well as perpetuity in terms of legacy. Other races will tell you, you go to a farm and there's a white man there. He will tell you that I'm the 4th or 5th generation farmer here. But you don't actually get that in a lot of Africans.
True.
Which means somehow there's somewhere we are lacking. It's very important that we look at ourselves and say, whatever I'm doing, whatever I'm, leaving as footprints, must then be followed by generations who are supposed to then say, I'm standing on your shoulders so that I can see beyond what you saw.
Yeah.
And then the next one will come and go third floor, fourth floor, until we are able to see the horizon.
Yeah.
But it started with a grandparent who was focused and had the vision. So it's important to make sure that we pass on the baton. We are not going to have it. One of the signs that actually tells you that people don't understand these dynamics of passing on, a generational legacy, is when they amass things and then they don't think about what's tomorrow is going to be like.
Yeah.
They take everything and become greedy and amass a lot of wealth that they actually forget that there are values which must sustain any wealth. There are people who are moneyed from other races, people who have got resources, people who are doing great things, whom you'll never see on top of the mountain shouting and talking about what they have. Yet they are making a great impact.
True.
There are kids you will never, see. They might always give examples that even in Jewish setups or at school, whilst we want to compensate for the lack that we used to have in terms of resources, by making sure that I get the latest. Some of these guys, they are compensating by making sure that their grandchildren will have a safe landing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's very, very important and key.
All right. No, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Where can people find you? There might be people who would want to know more about.
I'm all over, but I've got a channel on YouTube. It's called The Country Boy.
Yeah.
That's where some of the work that I do is found. I'm on Facebook, William Chingombe, in the media circles. I'm also there. If you just type William Chingombe, you will not miss me.
All right. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you find one or two things that will change the way of thinking, change your perspective, and help you to make better decisions when it comes to your family and your future. So from me and the elder,